Welcome back to our special broadcast across the state of Missouri this evening. It is the COVID-19 Congressional Town Hall. So this segment, we're talking with Representatives Ann Wagner and Blaine Luetkemeyer, but we begin with Representative Billy Long. He represents District 7, which covers southwest Missouri. That includes Springfield and Joplin, along with the Branson area. Now, Congressman Long, you are on the President's Council on Reopening the American Economy. What are you hearing from that group that can maybe give us some sort of insight into what happens next in Missouri?
Well, what we're hearing, and it is a bipartisan committee, which is very good, so we can work with the Democrats, and it's really interesting to hear the Democrats on the call with the president and with Larry Kudlow and different folks telling them what a good job that they think that the White House is doing. And one thing we're hearing is that we've got to get people back to work, definitely. And infrastructure is something that I've been on the bandwagon for a long time. And the president mentioned a few days ago that he wants to do a big infrastructure package. And I think the time has come. This is my 9th year in Congress. I've been there a little over 9 years, I guess, in Congress. And ever since I've been there, infrastructure has gone begging. And so this is a great chance to put a lot of people out there to work and fix the locks and dams and get 5G out there to the rural communities and things so that kids can study out in the country, just like the kids in town can study. So we're hearing different things from different parts of the country, as you might imagine. They have different things going on in Washington, the state of Washington, than they do in Oregon and down in Florida and up in Connecticut. So just a wide variety of things. And a lot of these different governors are putting different restrictions on their people. And there's a lot of pushback in states that you wouldn't think. California is really fed up with what their governor has locked them down on out there. So that's the type of thing that we had a call today with Larry Kudlow and everyone on that committee. And it was a very good call to just kind of get, everyone's opinion, Democrat, Republican alike.
Yeah. Congressman, in your district are some of the biggest tourist attractions in the country, really. We're talking Branson, part of the Ozarks. Do you foresee big gatherings taking place this year? And if not, what does the future look like for that region?
I think that depends on the public. I think that if we can get the confidence back in the public that, hey, it's okay to come out, this thing, we were told at first that there's a very good chance that it'll sway or go away in the warmer weather months. So hopefully, and that's when Branson shines, is in the warm weather. It's a great family location, great place to bring the kids. Everyone's welcome, grandma to the newborn baby. And so, we think that things will come back in the Branson area and come back in a big way. So we're looking forward to getting people back in the theaters down there. Now, they may have to set a row apart or have every other row empty and families, 6 people in one section if they're in one family, then 6 feet over the next group. But we're a pretty resilient bunch down here in southwest Missouri, and I think we can make it work.
Yeah, Congressman, viewer question tonight. This one comes from Charles in Rogersville. He writes, now that we have relaxed stay-at-home orders, if we see an uptick in cases, what should the government do to get it under control again? What are your thoughts on that one?
Being on the committee to reopen the government, that's one of the first questions I was asked by a member of the press was, what signs are you looking for to open up the government? And I said, well, just the opposite is true. I'm looking for an uptick to tell us not to reopen or that we need to slow down the reopening process. So if we have anything COVID related in this area, I think that's when we need to back off and reassess. And but this social distancing has been fine. The handshake, I don't think people are hiding a broad axe behind their back anymore. So I think we can do away with the handshake, do away with, standing real close to people all the time.
Yeah, those days may be gone, Congressman. All right, once again, Congressman Billy Long down in the Springfield area tonight. We're going to head now to the 3rd District. That's Congressman Blaine Luetkemeyer. That includes Jefferson City, Lake of the Ozarks, and much of eastern mid-Missouri. He joins us from St. Elizabeth on his birthday, no less. Congressman, you're a community banker by profession, so you understand these issues the financial institutions are facing. So what does need to be done next to make sure that people still have their incomes flowing while also still keeping them safe?
Well, I'm like Billy. I sit on the president's task force to open up the economy again. And I think, my suggestions to the group have been that from a financial standpoint, I don't want a repeat of 08 and 09 whenever the regulators came in and got rid of entire books of business for the banks. It devastated the communities, it devastated the businesses, it devastated the banks as well. And we took a long, long time to get out of this mess. So I have a bill that I think can be very effective in allowing the regulators, requiring the regulators to give forbearance to the banks that in turn then can give forbearance to their customers, the businesses, which can then hire the people, which can then keep the economies going and growing. And I think that to me is very important. And in the CARES Act, there were a couple of different provisions that talked about different rules and regulations that we suspended, waived, or changed. And I think we need to continue those. And if something didn't work in a crisis, I think we probably need to take a really close look at it and see if we need it at all.
Yeah.
So those are two recommendations I've made on the financial institution side. The other side is with regards to income flowing to the individuals. I think a payroll tax cut makes a lot of sense. I've been on some calls with a lot of national economists, and I know the president's a big supporter of this. It makes sense to allow people to keep their own money so that they can invest and spend as they feel fit for themselves and their families. It allows businesses to keep their own money and invest as they see fit for their own businesses. And I think we saw the tax cut back in that we passed in 2017, how it worked, how it got the economy going, kept it going. And I think this is a way, if we need to goose the economy to keep money flowing to the people, would probably be the best way to do it. It's no red tape that way. The people get the money directly. There's no government intervention. And I think it's a good way to keep the bureaucrats out of the middle of this, quite frankly, as well.
You also have Lake of the Ozarks in your district. I grew up there, not exactly known for social distancing, and people, summer's coming up, they're going to want to get together. So Don from Lake of the Ozarks asked, what is your advice for not only your constituents, but also for the businesses in that area to make sure the lake doesn't become a hotspot later on this summer?
Well, I think, the President's task force has come out and indicated that UV rays are actually a good way to thwart the coronavirus. So being outside, playing golf, boating on the lake, laying around on the docks, that's a good thing to be able to do. Most of the time you're social distancing when you're doing that, so you really don't have a lot of problem with that. Obviously the nightlife, which is a big part of the Lake of the Ozarks, that may be a different story, but I think our American people, and especially the people in the state of Missouri, are doing a really good job. I was out over the last couple of weeks, and the people and the businesses were doing a good job of adjusting and adapting to this new norm of trying to keep people at distance and yet be able to conduct business. I think they can figure this out. I think that the businesses can figure it out, and I think the people can figure out a way to make this all happen. All right. And I think as the summer goes along, we'll have more and more information. We'll probably have more and more drugs that can actually be effective against this. So I think as we go along, this will be a moot point. But initially, from Memorial Day for the next few weeks, it may be a little bit different than normal. But I think by midsummer, we should be back to normal. All
right, Congressman Blaine Luetkemeyer, appreciate your time tonight. We're now heading to the district surrounding the city of St. Louis. That's District 2, Representative Ann Wagner. Now, Congresswoman, St. Louis County has more cases than any other place in the state and about half the deaths at last count. Give us an assessment of what you're seeing and hearing throughout your really diverse district.
It is a diverse district, and it's basically the suburbs of St. Louis County, and not every region is the same. We see very different, certainly the urban and suburban area that represent. And what I'm hearing a lot from small business owners that are frustrated. They are they're scared. They're concerned that their entire life work and the business that they have built is going to fall apart, and they're going to have nothing left for their family and their workers. So we, through the CARES Act, on a bipartisan basis, worked on the Paycheck Protection Program, and we have been able to get these small businesses loans and some forgiveness of those loans if they're able to stay attached to their employers. So this is employees. This is a way for the workers to stay on with their employers and to have a business and a job to go back to. So I'm hearing from a lot of small businesses. My parents were small business owners, small carpet stores, and the concern and the stress would come from that. Then I'm also hearing from that mother who's teleworking from her home in Baldwin, like I am right now. A spouse that's furloughed, 3 kids that she's trying to homeschool, and on top of get meals out and the whole bit. It's incumbent upon me and my team and my staff to provide the services, the support, and the resources that we've legislated for. So anybody can go to wagner.house.gov, call my district office at 636-779-5449, and we will help stimulus checks.
All right, Congressman, very quickly, I want to get to this last question. You're about out of time. We get tons of emails about what you're talking about there, especially people say that they're not able to get unemployment, they're running out of money. So we have a question here. We have Kimberly from St. Louis, and she writes here, I applied for unemployment on March 22nd. I still have not started receiving benefits. Why not? It's been 7 weeks. I have no income. We have heard more of this story than anything else. What do you encourage people to do? Because I understand a lot of folks are getting to dire straits here.
Yeah, Kimberly, I feel, I know this frustration and the pain that you're going through, and we are working as hard as we can with the Division of Employment Security. Unemployment insurance benefits are distributed through the Missouri State Department of Labor. Working with them to make sure that they get their and working and able to get you your unemployment check. Through, again, the CARES Act, what the federal government did is we added an additional 13 weeks of unemployment benefits to you're already Missouri. Then on top of that, added an additional $600 per week that'll go all the way back to late March and extend all the way through July. So if you call my office at 636-779-5449 or go to wagner.house.gov, you will talk to a real person who will be able to help navigate through the unemployment benefit system that the state of Missouri is charged with distributing. But most of all, let's all be safe. Let's build the confidence that we need to get our economy open, to keep us all healthy and strong. These are difficult times, but I know that the constituents that I have the privilege of serving will pull together in order to get this.
All right,
get through this.
Thank you, Congresswoman. Now, it broke up just a little bit there. We knew some technology would get to us eventually. So if you want more information, make sure you go to your local congressman. You can get all the information from there. Ann Wagner, thank you so much. Still to come on this COVID-19 Congressional Town Hall, we speak with Missouri Senator Roy Blunt. We talk with him about making sure that medical equipment and pharmaceuticals are made here in the U.S. so we don't have to deal with this all over again. And one of our members of Congress is also a pilot and on the Transportation Committee. We'll get his thoughts on what summer travel may look like. You're watching our statewide special presentation, COVID-19, a Congressional Town Hall.